Rorga, I don't know if you would notice or not, but Guardian is moving a lot slower and more sluggish than he used to. He looks a little more. He always has like a thin layer of ice and frost on him, but in this case, it just seems as though he's moving even slower, a little creakier. He's not moving as quickly through the snow as he has, and that's where we'll pick up.
Well, friends, that was not the most pleasant of encounters, but I am glad to see that everyone made it back.
I don't know why it was so difficult for all of you, and I strolled on out after I put him in a bag.
Put him in a bag.
Yes, I put him in a burlap sack. The vomit bag of, what's her face? You know, her, Vanessa, Balin, Varian, no?
Belen?
Yeah. They're terrible names.
Well, after our encounter in Battle Hammerhold, I do not feel good about leaving whatever that was alive, but it seems like it needs what we have. That book.
Well, what we can do is, if he really wants that book, we can attach it to my boot and I can kick him with it. See how much he wants it then. Also, Steven is up there.
We ran into him on the way out. I think perhaps after this evening we should get moving pretty quickly.
Are we going to take care of this undead thing inside the keep? That's just another problem like a dragon.
I think my old person body has taken a few lumps, and I do not feel ready to have another encounter like that. At least today.
Yeah. Feeling a little rough after that.
Now I feel like doing my impersonation of Rogar, and that's when Garion starts moving around slowly.
He's nailing that impression.
Oh, I hate that this is what I've become. Oh.
In any case, what is the plan from here? Do we want to utilize this book and go after the Frost Maiden? Like, make our way out of this place?
Study the book in the morning, go deal with the Lich and Steven. If he's still frozen there. What did you guys do to him?
Sefik was afraid of my holy energy, my spirit. I called upon Torm and Bahamut, and they were able to place him in a state of fear, where he could not approach us.
Oh. I should have killed him when I had a chance.
It is very possible that if you had tried to kill him, it would have broken the spell.
What would have broken first, his neck or the spell?
This is a science experiment that I would like to try again.
Theory into practice. I like it.
But maybe we don't need to kill this skull. He needs the book, yes, but now that Villain has revealed her plan, we don't need anything in this place, do we? We have everything we need in the book.
He's responsible for the death of my king.
Oh,
I think. I think I died. Hmm.
is it important to you to get revenge on this Kislar? I believe I heard it say.
Yes, Kislar. And yes, there is a chance, though, that maybe whatever keeps me in this thing, once he's dead, I'm gone. Who knows? Adventure.
Darian, what do you think?
I think we do need to go find this Frost Maiden, but I don't know the best way to go about that at this point. I think putting some distance between us and Steven would be a good idea, but I also don't want to do something that's gonna kill Guardian either.
It would be unfortunate if we were to encounter the Frost Maiden and at the same time this Kislar was to appear on our backside.
Oh, he goes around, destroys the 10 towns, and raises them as undead minions, making this whole ordeal pointless.
Do we think he has enough power to be able to leave this place and cause havoc?
Even if he doesn't, we should take the opportunity to see that he is defeated then, so he doesn't have the chance to gain any power. Although you all left him a nice little snack on the front door in the name of Stephen.
I believe if Sefik was to be killed by this Kislar, that would be a net positive, I believe. Considering what this Sefik has done to us already.
Addition by
What
subtraction.
what if he raises him as a minion of his own? Or he absorbs his power?
I feel like as powerful as uh, Kislar is, Suffolk is going to cause trouble for him. Who wins? I don't know. I'm just a little wary of going back if it turns out that Suffolk is still looking for this book in there.
As we're talking, can I use my divine sense just to see if anything is within 60 feet of us as we talk? Celestial, fiend, undead.
Yeah, as you reach out with your senses, you don't detect anything within 60 feet.
Okay. So that gives Rogar at least a second of confidence.
It's probably been about an hour since you all left Yithrin and came down to your camp.
I have to fight Kislev. I failed once to uphold my honor and duty. I've been given a second chance to, I figure, regain something.
Is there something that you're sure of doing now?
The sooner the better, but if you all need rest, I understand. At least we know what's in there and we can prepare.
Guardian, I swear to you that if you believe this is the right cause, you have my battle axe. And if it's necessary, you have my life. I will fight this with you. But I could use a nap.
Very well. Everyone rest up, I'll keep watch.
And Virion, as you're perhaps moving to do your meditation thing because you don't sleep, you realize that your sword, Era, that you've been carrying for quite a while now, it feels more comfortable at your side and the hilt feels closer to your hand. And I don't know if you've all noticed, but I made you all fancy new cards under the magic items folder.
Ah.
And for you, Virion, Era, now the Moonblade has completely unlocked all of its abilities for you, which includes additional damage to undead and then also an at-will ability that you can use to basically give yourself armor class. It acts as a +2 defender. You were just talking about that low armor class. There you go.
This changes everything. Wait, let me see this. So if I'm wielding this, I have a +2 to it?
It works just like a defender does. As long as you're wielding it, you can choose to put as much of that bonus in either your attack or to increase your AC. So like you have +2, you could give yourself a +2 AC, but then you don't have a plus for an attack. You could split it and give yourself 1 attack and then +1 AC.
Okay.
Or just go all attack. You can make that choice. I think it's at the start of your turn. It says it in the description.
Oh, and okay, cool.
But you have to be holding it. So like if you were to draw your
Right.
bow, you don't have the effect anymore.
Got it. Okay.
And this whole area, before you went to Yithrin, was very quiet. There was a light snowfall. There was no wind. And in fact, the landscape was super quiet. But in the last hour, that's kind of changed. Wind has started to pick up from the west, started to obscure the area a bit. It's still night because you only have a few hours of daylight anyway, but it's stretching into night, so it's actually becoming very, very dark. But I believe you said you all were going to do a long rest?
We're gonna try.
So yeah, you all move into your bedrolls near the fire and take a long rest. You can all recover all of your hit points and spell slots and all of that. Guardian, were you going to take the rest?
Yeah, I'm going into sentry mode, which means I would just stand still.
Okay. So Guardian, when you're in sentry mode, you have a bit of a different experience this time than you've ever had before. You've had flashes before of what you could call dreams, which are mostly like scenes and stuff from what you now know is your past life. And it's usually you in the kingdom of Yithrin before it fell or walking through a forest or something like that. But this time you get flashes of moving through the glacier and a feeling deep down of happiness, perhaps, and then a sense of victory and like a malicious glee. And you know these feelings are not your own, but you don't really know where they come from.
Just thinking about the chain wrapped around my arm for a second, like, great.
But everyone, if you could roll a perception check for me, please. Vorgar, I'm going to say you're the first one because you had the highest score. You begin to stir and, wake up and draw yourself out of your bedroll. And you start coughing. No, just kidding. You look in the distance and you see what looks like a small figure advancing through the darkness towards your campfire. And you can't really tell what it is. And it's slightly smaller than a normal human, maybe like the size of a large child. and it gets closer and closer, and you get yourself out of your bedroll and arm yourself and everything, and you look around, and there are in fact 4 figures approaching the campfire. And Laja, you see this at the same time. Virian and Guardian, unfortunately, you don't notice at all. But what you see are these 4 figures that are shorter, and as they're moving forward, you can tell they seem to be hunched over, and they appear to be wearing some kind of grayish cloak or robe that's blowing slightly in the wind. But as they draw even closer, you can see their expressions, and it's very disturbing. They have gray skin that's pulled very close over a skeleton that looks very stretched. In fact, their mouths are stretched into an abnormally large scream, but they have no teeth, they have no tongue that you can tell, and they actually have sight. They have no eyes that you can see it either. And their arms are outstretched, and their arms are very, very skinny, look almost like bone.
Rogar will spend his the next second like specifically pointing them out to Guardian and Virian, so they're just as ready.
Unfortunately, I think Guardian and Virian are going to lose the surprise round here. But if you can all roll initiative for me, what we're going to do is the first round, Virian and Guardian will not get an action.
Actually, I have something here. So am I still surprised, bud?
What you said you have something here. What's the something here?
Feral instinct. If you are surprised at the beginning of combat and aren't incapacitated, or not, you can act normally on your first turn, but only if you enter your rage before doing anything else on that turn.
Okay, sure. I'll allow that.
Yeah, barbarians. Fucking weird.
So the first one of these creatures, it's moving very slowly.
Do you want to roll initiative too?
Yeah, please.
I have advantage. I don't know why that is. Okay, it doesn't matter.
The creature shambles up to you, Guardian.
Oh. Sorry, I was in the macro testing mode, so I rolled a 14 in the macro.
Okay. And it turns its eyes towards you, Guardian. If you can give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Remember to add +3 because you're right next to me.
Okay. For 11.
Unfortunately, that is not enough. As it's advancing, you look towards it because that's something you would normally do, but you are drawn into the eye sockets that it has, and it's a darkness that keeps going further and further. And you were thinking when you were looking at this thing, you're just getting prepared to attack it, but you're drawn by its gaze, and it's a horrifying experience as you just kind of feel yourself falling into the deep eye sockets of this thing, and you take 22 necrotic damage.
Okay, so ton of health.
Moving on to the next one. It shambles its way up to you, Laja. If you can also give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Also +3.
So that would be a 17.
That is good enough. You are also drawn by its gaze, but you're able to kind of look away. You've trained perhaps to deal with things like this in the past, but you still take 11 necrotic damage. Now on to you, Guardian.
Well, I rage. And I'm gonna hit the thing with a mallet. With my maul. You know what? Recklessly, too. Because why not? Okay. Is it going through?
No, it's not, but Roll20's been kind of slow lately.
Yep, there it goes.
A crit 27 will certainly hit.
Oh, hello.
It wasn't Roll20, but apparently my mouse wasn't actually clicking. I need to buy a new one. Okay. There he goes.
So we see 19 damage there.
Yeah.
So as you strike this creature with your maul, you swing across it and maybe hit it like right in the middle of where its chest should be. But your maul doesn't seem to do quite as much the blow as you would expect it to. It sort of passes through the robes of the creature and it doesn't seem to bother it too much.
Okay.
Did you have anything else?
Yeah, I attack again. Recklessly. Maul.
A 15 will hit. Much as before, it's another strike against this thing, but it doesn't really seem to be as effective as you were hoping.
I'm just a raging barbarian. I'm not hoping much.
And moving on. Don't forget to restore all of your hit points, Virion. But the one that's kind of across from you moves up and also gives you a gaze into its deep, dark eyes. If you can give me a Constitution save, please.
+3.
18.
An 18 is good enough, but you still take 11 necrotic damage as you feel this thing trying to suck like the life force out of you.
Okay. It's rough.
And finally, the last one moves up to you, Rogar. And you guessed it. If you can give me a Constitution save, please.
So 14 total.
That is also a success, but still you take 11 necrotic damage as you just can't look past the horrifying gaze of this thing and its terrifying face. But that does take us to you, Rogar. It's your turn.
Rogar will make his first attack against the creature that's in front of him.
Unfortunately, a 9 will not hit.
Had to roll a 1. Rogar will let out a roar of anger and strike again, this time bringing the sword down, or his battle axe down, trying to hack at what he thinks are the legs of this creature.
A 12 will not hit. And as you miss, this time, the creature kind of stands up. You noticed it was hunched before. They're all kind of hunched, but that is not its true height. And as it comes to its full height, it stands over you, leans down very close to your face, Rogar, and gets its eyes very close to yours. If you can give me a Constitution save, this is a very important one.
That's a 25 total.
Ooh.
Yeah, you were able to resist with no concern or no issue. But you feel like this thing is really trying to leverage its... Oh, go ahead.
Can I make because I've actually used these in games against people before, but can I make a history or something check to see if Rogar knows what these are?
Sure, why don't you do I think a religion check might be more applicable for what we're dealing with now. Oh, okay, that's good. These are called Bodaks. They are undead creatures. They are typically in service of Orcus, I believe, in Faerun, which is the god of undead.
So I now know what that fail would have done, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you that fail would have reduced you to 0 hit points and knocked you completely out. That's its death gaze. That's what it's called. The way these things work is they are hunters of souls, and they've probably picked all of you as something to harvest.
I made one of these a bad guy against a group of level 1 adventurers, and accidentally killed half a town because there's a save involved. Brogar will let out friends. Make sure to use magical weapons. But I would like to move Rorgar one step to here.
Okay. I believe that takes us to you, Laja.
Great. I am going to move over a single step so that I can finally use one of my cantrips, guys. Did you know I have Word of Radiance? The two that are next to me get to make a Constitution save.
A 21 and a 13. So I think the second one failed.
The second one fails, so that's 11 radiant damage. And then I don't have a good bonus action right now, so I will just end my turn there.
All right. Unfortunately, the one that was closest to you, this one, he does a similar maneuver to what he did with Rorgar. He rises up like he's no longer hunched. He goes to his full height and leans over at you, Laja, and looks down into your eyes. If you can give me a Constitution save, please. Oh dear.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
You should. Hey, that's a good use of an inspiration. 23 is good enough.
+3.
We love a 26.
You have nothing to worry about. But moving on to Virion.
Virion is going to use his Moonblade here and take a swing. Hang on, I just didn't want to open up that. Are these hang on one second.
These are undead.
Perfect. So these will do my normal damage plus 2d8 radiant. I am gonna use that +2 to add to my AC here. So that'll bump me up to a 16 for now. And okay, we are swinging away.
Fortunately, a 9 will not hit.
Okay, I will swing again.
A 21 is good though.
All right, so we'll do our damage. And then 2d8 radiant damage. 5 plus the penguins flying in here and just swarming around the little wrists of these guys.
So I get a total of 17.
Yes.
All right. As your blade hits this thing, actually part of its little cloak that it's wearing catches on fire as the Moonblade swipes it, and your penguins take advantage of it, crawl up its skinny arm, and start biting away at it. It lets out a low scream. It's not like a high pitch like teenage girls scream. It's like a very low, almost like a wail as you've done that.
Right.
However, as you do that...
Sorry, can you just go over what just happened? My brother just interrupted me.
Well, basically, Virion, with his Moonblade, scored a very strong hit on this thing. Not only the Moonblade, but also the radiant extra damage from the Moonblade, but then the penguins also swarmed and attacked it, so all in all, very good strike. But this thing, as it pulls back a little bit from you, Virion, sort of like a circle of anger radiates from it, and everyone 30 feet, which actually is all of you, take 5 necrotic damage.
Jeez.
I take.
And I think that's it for Virion.
Yep, that's everything.
So the one that was attacking you before, Elijah. Oh, I forgot. He would actually have advantage because he's flanking you. So he takes advantage of that. He takes a skinny hand, stretches out towards you with long fangs that are very gray and broken, and takes a scratch at you. How's about a 12? Oh, sorry,
Nope.
a 13 with advantage.
Still no.
And that's him. And the one beside you, Guardian, he's actually, again, leaning his eyes directly into your face. If you can give me a Constitution save, please.
Still get that +3.
Yes, as long as you're within 10 feet.
Yep. That's a 20.
A 20 is good enough. You only take 11 necrotic damage.
I'm assuming you already halved it for my.
No, I did not.
No. All right. 5.
That one didn't show up in roll 20 either.
Oh, damn it.
But we move on to your turn, Guardian.
Macro. I don't want to spam chat with. The maul hasn't worked. I'm going to go whack him with a chain. I've been trying to fix the macro for this. Okay. Recklessly.
Okay. An 18 will certainly hit. Yeah, 14 damage. Let's see, you're not going to see, you didn't decide to grapple, you're just going to attack it.
Yeah.
This time, the difference, though, between using the chain and your maul is the chain seems to have a very significant effect on this thing. As you strike it, its clothes begin to catch on fire in a different appearance than what happened with Virion and the Moonblade, but this actually looks like real flame on the hem of this thing's robe or cloak that it's wearing.
Goody. Second action, attack. I'm going to grapple it, action.
Okay. And the way we do that, is we do the opposed strength checks. For you can use athletics. Let's see, I got a 17, so I think you have it grappled.
Sweet.
So with the chain, it can move, but it can't move more than 10 feet away from you.
Yeah, and at the start of its turn, it takes 2d8 fire.
Yep, as it continues to burn. But it actually does the sort of thing that the others have been doing, and it's hunched over, but it rises up to its full height. And at this point, it's almost into your face, Guardian, because you're so much taller than it is when it's hunched over. If you can give me a Constitution save, please.
24.
24 is good enough. Let's see, but the one that's right next to you, Vorgar, it tries to gaze again into your eyes, and as you're facing it, if you can give me a Constitution save.
It's not going to attack Virion?
Nope.
Not going to let me use Sentinel for like the second time ever? I'll use my inspiration.
Okay.
Even better.
Unfortunately,
That's a total of 7.
with a 7, you take the full blast of this thing's gaze, and you take 22 necrotic damage.
Can you move Rogar to the top of the map layer? Because I can't see his health bar.
It'll pop up if you click on him. He has 20.
Okay.
There you go. Everybody should kind of be in order based on top to bottom there. And
Okay,
then the creature that just attacked you, Rorgar, extends that whole wave of necrotic energy on everyone, doing 5 more necrotic damage.
Including me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
And
You're
the
not
one,
hit as hard as my other barbarian subclass, but I am danky.
the one next to you, Virion, the one that you've been working on with your sword, he comes at you also with sharp claws at your face. Let's see. He rolled a 6, so you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, here we go. Okay. You're talking about this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so since he took an attack against my ally within range, who could have attacked me, attack of opportunity on him.
All right. Get him. 24 hits.
And I will use a first level Divine Smite as well. These are undead, right?
Yeah, they're undead.
So I get an extra d8, so it's 3d8 extra damage.
Wow. All right. As you strike this thing, your axe doesn't seem to cut through it very much, but as you release your righteous power on it, there is an explosion of radiant energy, and it just seems to just vanish immediately, and the little cloak that it was wearing flies off into the wind. And it's gone. But that takes us to your turn, Rogar.
Rorgar will turn his fury towards the other one and attack it twice.
Uh, 23 also hits.
I will use another Divine Smite on this one, first level.
Wow. Okay. So not enough to finish it off, but just as before though, your battle axe doesn't seem to do much on its own, but the rest of your holy power does significantly drive back the creature a bit. It leans back and does like a slow roar, and it also stretches out with its circle of necrotic energy at everyone, doing 5 damage to all of you.
That's before my second attack?
Yep.
And then the second attack, Rorgar will just attempt to cleave top to bottom through with the battle axe.
A 12 will not hit, unfortunately.
And that's it.
And we move on to Laja.
So I'm going to look at the one in front of me. I'm going to grab my Forge Hammer and attack.
Well, that'll do. Yeah. That certainly
Okay,
hits.
and I will also take my extra Blessed Strike damage because I'm going to forget about it all the time. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move a little bit further over in case I need to grab anybody for a Cure Wounds.
But your extra damage, it's a 1d8.
It's a 1d8, just flat. So I already have that added in. I put it as an attack modifier. So that's the
Oh.
second one.
Well, what about your crit? Because you rolled a 27. Or you rolled a 20.
It added it as the attack on the attack roll, so that the +6 is the radiant damage.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was very confusing. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that didn't go in right. Then I need to fix that.
that looks like 18 total.
Yes, that would be right.
Roll 20. So a very significant impact on this thing, Laja, as you hit it, it kind of recoils back a little bit. That takes us to you, Varian.
Okay. I am going to move to get on the other side of the one that's attacking Roarguard, so get into flanking position and attack with advantage with my Moonblade again. Oh,
12 is just not enough.
all right. I will attack again with the Moonblade.
Unfortunately, a 10 is also not good enough.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to use inspiration here. Because I really want this. And attack one more time.
A 23 will work.
I will use that 23 to its fullest extent, hopefully. So 9 damage plus 2d8s here. For another 6 radiant. And then the penguins will jump out and go after... We'll go right at the face this time.
It's another penguin kill, actually.
Most adorable way to go.
Perhaps the penguins follow the blade of your sword, like they jump off and follow the blade up to this thing's face as they attack it. And much as before, the body just fades away and its cloak falls to the snow. Let's see, top of the round though, the one next to you, Guardian, it does its thing again where it looks at you in the eyes, trying to make a connection.
But wait! It's the start of its turn.
It
It
is.
burned.
Nice. You can roll the damage for me.
Doesn't get rage. But 10 damage.
Hey, that's not nothing. At this point, the entire cloak of the creature is on fire. But if you can give me a Constitution save, please.
Sure. 20.
Yeah.
23.
23, that's fine. You take 11 necrotic damage, though. And the one next to you, Laja, it's also doing the same thing where it leans in and gives you a gaze. You can give me a Constitution save, please. Wow, look at you all.
I'm now emboldened by, hitting one, getting some good damage in. I'm confident.
We are very obviously playing the wrong game tonight. Yeah, you're fine, but you do take half damage, which is 11 necrotic damage, unfortunately. It also reaches out with a wave of dark energy and gets everybody again with 5 necrotic damage. And we move on to Guardian. Guardian, if you're muted.
I am. What can I do with him now that I have him grappled? I know on his turn I can burn him for 2d8, but what can I do on my turn?
Well, on your turn, unfortunately, because he's grappled, you can't use your chain to attack again because it's wrapped around him. So you can move him if you'd like. I don't know, that's not going to do much for you, but that's something you can do grappled. You can attack him with advantage with your maul.
Maul's not doing anything, and it's a two-handed maul too, so I can't really do that with losing a grapple.
You can just let go of the grapple and attack him normally with a chain.
Nah, I'm just gonna.
You can move
Just
and he
gonna
moves with
punch him.
you. Like, you can do that.
I'm just
He's
gonna-
grappled.
Wait, I have a great club. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit him with my great club. Just gonna reach back and grab it and whack him with it.
Okay.
Since it's one-handed. With advantage.
A 22 will certainly hit.
Ooh, a mighty 7. And then, yeah, I know it's not gonna do much. I'm just doing it so I can keep the rage going.
Yeah, I was going to say the club doesn't seem to do much as you whack this thing with it. Your chain has been
whack
much
him
more
again.
effective. 17 hits.
Gary just laughs at the sound it makes, though. It's kind of meaty, despite how skinny they are.
It takes us to you, Rogar.
Rogar will use his movement to get to here. And then make his first attack against this Bodak.
A 22 will hit.
I'll just do normal damage.
Your axe, without any radiant energy behind it, doesn't seem to do much to this creature, but you do manage to hit it. It's still very focused on Laja, though.
And I'll make a second attack against the same one.
Nearly the same as before. A 22 will hit.
And Rogar will just do normal damage.
Oh, yeah, almost the same roll as before. Again, like, your battle axe just isn't really doing much to it. You can feel it being curved away as you strike the thing. It just seems to, for some reason, your axe, without any magic behind it, is not doing much damage to this thing. But you kind of remember from your teachings that this is a very evil, very powerful undead creature.
And that would be it for Rogar's turn.
And takes us to Laja.
So Laja is gonna attack with the Forge Hammer.
With your hack dice, a 27 crit. Yes, will hit.
And then I will grab my extra Blessed Strike. That's another 6, but that one's radiant.
As you hit the thing with your hammer, its body fades away with this, like a silent wail, leaving only its cloak that flutters away in the wind. Taking us to Virion.
All right. Again, going to get into flanking position to help out Guardian here and take that Moonblade and go for my first whack.
A 23 will hit.
All right. 7 there. And 2d8s for another 6 plus Penguin Pals for another 5.
Technically, you killed it before you rolled the penguins.
Yeah.
So I'll let you describe what that looks like.
So I take the Moonblade and I just jam it through the back of this creature, and as I do, my penguins shoot out from the tip of my blade, and they look very saddened as the wail sound fades into the ether, and they look at me like, "Papa, where's our nutrients?" But they don't get to eat tonight.
That takes us out of combat. And what's very different is as these things died, they left basically nothing in their wake. In fact, as you look on the snow, they didn't even leave any footprints. So it's almost like they weren't even there at all.
Oh, that sucked.
That was not the encounter I was expecting to face.
Do we think it's safe to finish up the night here?
What time is it, roughly?
I should say, yeah, this was at the conclusion of your long rest, so this is early morning.
I guess if we are almost done camping anyway, we probably should get on the road.
Rogar took 53 damage.
Rogar will take a second and put a hand to his chest and say a quiet word to Torm and Bahamut and use 38 points of lay on hands healing to heal himself.
I was gonna just use prayer of healing if we had 10 minutes. Are you sure you don't want to save that for later?
I could probably still use the extra healing.
Well, this is a 2d8 plus 4, so you can use much less of yours.
All right, let's say 25.
So before we head out, I will cast prayer of healing for everybody. It's not much, but it's a little.
We all get 8.
That'll keep us living until we get where we want to be.
You said you're heading out, Laja. Where are you all going?
That's a good question. We haven't negotiated that. I know Guardian really wants to go back. Laja wants to avoid Cephik. Whatever the others want to do is their own choices. We're all going to go to the same place together, but it's going to be a discussion.
I just feel like we just took too much damage and now we have to do another long rest. Oh.
Do we take a short rest before we head out?
We just woke up. We have to take a short rest. Actually, I think there's a cooldown period we have to wait for.
I mean, I'll allow it. You know, time isn't necessarily on your side. You know, the wheels of the world continue to turn no matter what you all do.
I feel like we are already getting into a lot of trouble going back to
We're also going to leave trouble for everyone else if this guy gets out.
Yeah, but I have the feeling it's less of a problem than getting closer to the Frost Maiden actually getting additional power over time.
I do feel strongly that we should finish this quest for Guardian.
As long as we're all feeling up to it, I guess we can go take care of this.
How many spell slots are used in this start of the day attack?
I used 1 second, but I am still missing 2 first.
I have 2 first and 3 seconds left. So I have all my second levels left.
Virion has unlimited penguins, which is very important.
This is very true.
So I guess I'll leave it to Virion as the tiebreaker. Where are you going?
I feel like Guardian's Quest is probably the most pressing.
So perhaps, Laja, as you hesitate, you see the other three getting ready to go back to the cliff that leads up to the kingdom of Yithrin.
Laja will very quickly, head to follow the rest as they start on their way.
What's different this time, as I said, as you're climbing the cliff that leads up to the keep at the top, is it's actually much more windy now than it was before. And the going is kind of treacherous. So I'll give all of you the option to either give me a strength athletics check or a dexterity acrobatics check.
No, Guardian will do the dexterity, of course. No, strength.
Oh shit. 15.
It makes no difference for me.
You said athletics?
You could do athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah, Rogar will attempt athletics. He's just going to try to muscle his way up the side of this ice.
Guardian, I didn't see what you rolled. Oh, there you go.
I was like, just tempted, like, do I just want to burn another rage just to yell at the ice and growl up for a minute before it fades away?
So you're all fine except for Laja. Laja, maybe you're looking over your shoulder the whole time, but you slip and fall a few times, get some scratches, some bruises, you take 5 damage. Bludgeoning, if that matters.
No, it doesn't.
So this is the map that takes a while to load. Sometimes a long time to load.
Before we enter whatever this is, can we say Rogar goes to Laja and says, Dawnbringer, we have the strength of not one, not two, but 3 deities on our side. Torm, Bahamut, and your deity as well. So there is no way we fail this again. And he pats her on the shoulder and gives her 8 points of lay on hands healing.
Thank you, Rogar. I'm just a little bit nervous about going back up here and what we might end up running into. But
No, there is no reason to be nervous. We will be absolutely fine. And the moment Rogar turns away, you see that he is also shaking.
I will let you know I have a passive 17 insight. I 100% see that unless you want to try hiding it.
No.
And it's only been perhaps 9-10 hours since you were here last time, but it already looks very different. When you were here before, as I was saying, hardly any snow was falling at all, even though there was like a thin layer of snow on the ground and frost on the statues and stairs in the interior. That's all changed now. It appears as though the environment has actually caught up to this place, and as you look around, there is heavy snow falling. You don't really see any sign of the preservation that you saw before. Like when you were inside, you saw like the torches that were frozen with the flames actually burning. That all seems to have gone. In fact, the whole place looks older. It looks kind of like what its age would indicate. It looks like it's, thousands of years old. What you don't see is you don't see Suffolk.
Can Rogar use Divine Sense?
Yes, you may. And as you use it, as you stretch out with your feelings, you feel the presence of a very strong celestial creature, and she appears right in front of you.
Friends, there is a very strong presence of Whoa!
And it's a loud flash and a crash of thunder as this thing appears in front of you. And she stands she's over 9 feet tall, so she's quite a bit taller than you, Rogar. and she's clad in like a brass-like metallic armor. She has long outstretched wings that have deep black feathers. Her eyes are also dark, glimmering black, and her bluish black hair extends past her waist. She holds a very large scythe at her side. And Rorgar and Laja, if you can both give me a religion check. Rorgar, you're like, hey, this is the thing. But Laja, you realize this is what is called a Death Pact angel. It's an angel that isn't strictly speaking good. It's lawful, like pretty much all angels are, but its motives tend to be varied. What they tend to do is they get into agreements with mortals. The agreements aren't always good, they aren't always bad, but they are very strict about debts. And that's what this thing is.
Oh, well. Hello. You are not exactly what we were expecting to encounter as we entered this facility. What is your name, friend?
She says, I am Aisa, you foolish mortals. And as she says this, she's speaking softly, but her voice is actually echoing in all of your minds. She says, you have set loose the fallen prince upon your world. For the gift of immortality, he entered a bargain with me long ago. And after breaking our pact, I imprisoned him in ice for eternity. But you fools released him and then allowed him to escape.
To be fair, we didn't realize that the person we're traveling with was going to do that. I did try my best, though, to put him into a burlap sack.
She kind of blinks and flaps her wings once, and she says, he has possessed the body of the one you left here and affixed himself to a new ambition. He knows that Auril has taken mortal form, and he plans to take her power as his own. If he succeeds, he will unleash his dark designs upon your entire world and become unstoppable.
Well, whoever Aisa, am I saying that right, Aisa?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Aisa, we still hold the means to get to this Frost Maiden on our persons, so this Kislar still requires what we have. Or at least I assumed so.
The knowledge that you hold in that book was written by his people. The knowledge is known to Kislar.
Well, shit.
He goes even now to reach the Frost Maiden. And as she speaks, she points her scythe kind of across at all of you, and she says, since you broke him free and allowed him to escape, you now owe me a debt.
Why do we owe you a debt for shoddy workmanship?
I would say, Guardian, that's not how this works.
Yes, I'm with Laja here. Friend Laisa, I've actually spoken with other deities before about this, and I am happy to give you my blade to my word that we will go after Kislar in this moment and do our best to stop him. Or her. I should not assign gender to this amorphous creature.
She nods. You will find the Dark Prince and destroy him before he consumes Auril. With her power at his command, he will easily overthrow the entirety of Faerun.
Is Kislar more dangerous than Auril, the Frost Maiden? Because the Frost Maiden is the one that has made dominion over these 10 towns for so long.
She says, he is not stronger on his own than Auril. However, if you have noticed, she motions to the sky, the night of the Frost Maiden is 3 days away. She will be traveling away from her keep to recast her spell of the eternal winter, and it is at that point she will be her most vulnerable. It is likely Kislar will use that time to attack her. While he cannot truly slay her, as long as she has followers, worshippers here, he can consume her power.
If Kislar is going after the Frost Maiden, and we are looking to deal with the Frost Maiden, then we can get Kislar at the same time. Does this sound good to all of you?
I think so.
This just sounds like everything we were trying to do is all just in the same direction, right?
That's certainly good for us in that case.
Oh, go
Death
ahead.
Maiden, Leisa, what you said you made some sort of pact with this Kislar. What did that entail?
She says, for the soul of his people, I granted him the power of immortality to become a lich. He did not return the souls to me as was promised. He kept them for himself.
I'm sorry, the souls of his people.
She turns slowly to you, Guardian. She says, yes.
Huh. So the souls of the people, when they die, they go to you, or you just come and take them?
They were to be given to me as payment.
Who the hell do you think you are? What right do you have to claim on anyone's soul without their consent?
She says, that is irrelevant. The pact was made.
Rogar will kind of try to get in between Lisa and Guardian, like,
You deity are all the same. Meddling in the affairs of people down here because you're bored. Thinking you can exert whatever will you have on us.
Rogar's doing the, like, trying to hold Guardian back, but not really holding him back, like pro wrestling style.
And she says, Kislar approached me with a deal. I found it to be acceptable.
And then you're a fool. Proven twice over. He broke the pact, and he got out of a very weak-designed cage.
Laisa, would you make a deal with us?
She looks to you, Rogar. What is your offer?
We give you this Kislar, and you help us to free these lands from the Frost Maiden.
She says, you offer me a deal which you are already indebted. Because you allowed him to go free, you are responsible for eradicating him. It is your charge already.
Hey, worth a try. Like, I've already told Sylvanas that I would help in this, and obviously Torma and Bahamut are looking down on me, and so, like, I had to try.
And she looks at you, Rogar, and she says, perhaps a deal can be made. The balance must still remain. She says, if you will collect souls for me, I will give you an assistance.
I already went over this with Sylvanas. I'm already committed to Tormund Bahamut, so I can't like go above that. So I'm just doing Sylvanas a favor, and like for you, like you're saying we owe you this. Like, sure, we're gonna do it anyways because Guardian wants to kill this asshole, but like I'm not going above and beyond for you. You're not Torm, you're not Bahamut. Come on.
She says, I'm not a petty deity. I do not require your allegiance. To balance my scales, I require the souls, whether they are the souls of the creatures you will face or the souls of other mortals matter not to me.
Huh. Torm and Bahamut do not require my allegiance. I give it to them willingly.
And yet you were still unable to defeat Kislar.
And yet you couldn't imprison him perfectly.
That's true. It wasn't us that freed Kislar. It was a old wounded woman. If she was able to do it, I don't think Kislar was bound in his prison for long. Regardless.
Some deity.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be critical. That's mean. I've had a long day. We've all had a long day. We almost died in a fight. We almost lost a friend. Then we were attacked by these crazy creatures with long mouths. I'm sorry. Can I offer you a drink or anything?
So she stretches out her wings and she stamps her scythe into the ground, and the pointed end of the scythe cracks the stone beneath it, and she raises her voice, and as she does, it sounds in all of your ears. If you can, each of you give me a let's see, what's the best thing that would work here?
Constitution. Don't say wisdom. Don't you dare say wisdom.
Please say wisdom. I have a +7.
Probably charisma. Yeah, give me a charisma check.
Yeah,
So-
okay, well that's 0.
Based on where we are, Guardian's the only one that gets the +3. Any.
That's an 18.
All right, she rolled a 27. Okay. So you all feel possessed, a deep fear inside of your hearts. You realize that this is a creature, like you've all faced some really nasty stuff, but this is a thing that's like a whole level above. Like this creature is from another plane. This thing, talks, all the time with higher powers and deities. She's very angry. Elijah, from your training that she thinks that you owe her a debt. She's not going to let you walk away until you agree to repay it.
Okay. Everybody, if I can have a minute. Okay.
With what? The soul-sucking deity?
No. I'm going to say, on behalf of all of us, we were already planning to go after the Frost Maiden, and if we end up allowing somebody to not only take her power but become a larger threat, then that is still within what we were already going to do. Therefore, it is in our best interest to just do this anyway. And Laja will look at the rest of the party, be like, right? So let's agree to do this. And Laja looks a little bit afraid. Let's agree to do this since it is already what we were planning on doing.
The rest of you can agree to it. I still plan on taking him out. But I'm not going to agree to anything to this thing.
As let's say as a party, all of us together as a group are going to do this. Elijah will turn. We as a group are agreeing to do this.
And Aisa looks at you, Guardian. She kind of smells the air around you, and she says, "It is interesting you have reservations for taking the bargain because the stink of Kislar is already on you. Do you not feel he has taken much from you? Not just your homeland, but what remains of your life force. I can see it, a small thread growing fainter."
I will kill him. Not for you in any sense of the regard, but for my people. I'm glad he broke his pact with you. At least my people's souls are safe. For the most part.
And she kind of draws her wings in and she says, "Interesting. You think the souls of your people were better under his guardianship than under mine. I would have cared for them in the skies of Elysium, while he keeps them for himself to draw power. Which was the worst fate?"
Honestly, I'd rather them be free than have to deal with a deity who decides to have them as part of a pact. You can spout off all your lies to me all you want. I have no idea what your intentions are with them.
She laughs. "Freedom is for fools. We all have masters."
Then go gravel at yours.
She says, "What I said I still maintain," and she points to Laja. "You would all do well to listen to that one, for they are very wise. You still are indebted to me. Whether you agree to it or not, the debt remains."
It does bear. It does make sense to ask. Any chance we could just pay this off with gold? I have 10.
This isn't how it works, Roygar.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right, Laja. I'm very sorry. Aliyah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
fine.
Common is not my first language, so sometimes I struggle. I'm very sorry. We will kill this Kislar. Don't worry.
Aisa looks down to you, Rorgar, and she says, "The bargain that I offered before is still open. You will need assistance killing Kislar. You were unable to before, obviously." So she holds out her scythe, and as she does, she kind of lets go, and it hovers in the air a bit, and it shrinks smaller and smaller. I like the handle gets smaller and smaller, and the blade that's extended retracts back into the star-shaped head of this thing, and it drops to the ground in front of her. And she says, "You may take my weapon. You'll need it to destroy the Lich's phylactery. His soul is bound to a vessel that resembles a cauldron, with ancient magic that creates food at will. It will appear harmless, except for the cursed food it produces."
There's no way. You're not. There's no. He turns to Virian and Laja. There's no way she's referring to the one we already had, right?
I believe we need to make a detour to Goodmead.
A rustle of feathers, and as you turn back, Aisa is gone. However, the weapon that she left still lays on the ground. It's probably like right here.
So, what was the bargain exactly? Was it just to kill Kislar?
Yeah, so there's a few things to go through there. She's saying you're all indebted to kill Kislar anyway because you let him go. she was making a bargain with you specifically, Rorgard, to collect souls for her, and that's kind of where her weapon that she left comes into play. So if you look at this thing, the way this thing operates is it's a magical mace, but if you kill something with it, you actually steal that thing's soul, and that's what she wants you to do. Basically, her help using this weapon is the bargain.
I want a magical weapon so bad, but there's no way I can do that. There's no way Rorgar can do that. He already turned down a bargain with a god to save 20 years of his life. There's no way he can do that.
Well, you asked her for her help, and she said that's basically the condition. You have to use her weapon. That's her help in exchange for the souls that the weapon takes.
Friends, I cannot do that. My soul is already committed to Storm and Bahamut and saving the people of this area, but I cannot commit to giving souls to this creature that we do not know. We will kill Kislar. I will try. Guardian will try. But I cannot commit to giving souls to whatever this creature is.
Honestly, how hard could he be? I put him in a burlap sack and flung him across a room.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if the rest of you necessarily know 100% what her deal was, but I will say we did not have much of a choice in this matter. So we kind of need to do this, or we will be dealing with problems larger than even the ones we already are dealing with. I can handle two problems, two very life-altering problems. I do not want 3 huge life-altering problems. So let's get on with dealing with the Frost Maiden. We can destroy that cauldron, and we'll probably run into Kislar while taking care of the Frost Maiden. And that will get rid of our 2 big problems. And then we will deal with the third potential problem once we deal with the other ones. Lasha is doing lots of math and just like freaking out, just like, yep, too many things to do.
Remember when I said we should go stop at Good Meat, see how it was doing?
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, by going there, we are probably going to make life worse, but hopefully it will be better in the end.
We are also moving in the opposite direction of the Frost Maiden.
Did you
And
ever
this
send that
Kislar.
message to whoever in Goodmead?
I mean, I could send a message, but I don't know if... Do you want them to meet us? Do we want them to try to destroy it themselves? I feel like from what she told us that they aren't going to be able to destroy it. We might require this weapon.
I'm talking about when I asked you to send a message way back when.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Did we ever get a response?
The message was something like, look out for some orcs that are coming your way.
Yeah.
And I think the response was to the effect of, we haven't seen any orcs.
That was pretty much the long and short of it. And then we didn't have any extra spell slots after that. Do we want to send another message over?
Would be good. Maybe they have someone that could meet us here. Magic. How does it work?
How How would you want to phrase this? We have one message, very short, like a couple sentences at most. I
Found
get
out
one
Cauldron
message.
is evil.
Do we want to suggest to them what to do with it?
Try and send it to us, I guess? I don't know.
How are they going to send it to us? I'm asking only because I want to avoid them asking me questions in return.
Yeah, I just feel like we're going to have a lot of backtracking. Not enough time.
It might be
3
unavoidable.
days. Because we have to go down on the cliff again. Took us a day to get up pretty much where we are now. It's going to take us another day to go to Goodmead, or more. And then have to get back over here for the Frostmane Island. We're just going to miss this chance again.
Well, that floating celestial is gone now, right?
Yeah, she vanished.
What happens if Rorgar moves to here?
Yeah, so as you stand at the threshold to the entrance to Yithrin, the interior has changed just much like the exterior. So before there was a thin layer of ice over everything, sort of preserving like a moment in time really in the city. All of that is gone to where it seems like there's no longer this coat of frost anymore covering everything. Before the torches were sort of frozen in motion, even like the flame inside the torches were frozen. That's different. Like that the flames are completely out. It's very dark and the stone appears to have aged thousands of years since you saw it last. The tables have rotted. The wood is no longer there. It's just like a pile of planks on the ground.
And what if Rorgar gets a view of that center room?
Much the same. You know, you look in, see the dining room or the council room. The table is all that's left. The chairs are broken and crumbled.
Okay.
The door you can see through the doors into the throne room. Or actually, no, I forgot. Guardian closed the door, but the door came open. That's right. So you can see into the throne room. Sorry, just catching up in my brain. You can see into the throne room. You didn't see anything there, but much of the same. The runes on the ground that you saw before are missing. There's no big block of ice. The throne is still in the center, but everything has also that aged look as before.
Also, really, the phylactery has to be the cauldron.
Yeah, the one over in Goodmead.
Yeah.
Thinking about what we know, how far from where we are is where we know the Frost Maiden's island to be?
That's a good question. Let me see if I can do some quick math for you.
Because if we can't get there within 3 days, then like that sort of pushes the timeline back a bit.
With Guardian time, you can get there in just a little over 2 days, and that's just making a straight shot across the glacier. You still have the problem that you had before. Like when you get to the sea, actually, I'll show the map and you can all follow along what I'm talking about here. Yeah, you're about 43, I think I drew it like 48 hours away. You are the red X on the map currently. The problem is the island of Grimskull is in the Sea of Moving Ice, and that's going back to the discussion that you had before with the lady at the Goliath camp about actually how to cross the Sea of Moving Ice. She said that her ship was able to, but it was taken by the White Dragon, the ancient White Dragon, for its own. There's also rumors of a whale that will grant passage to people across the sea if you can befriend it. But you can't travel directly across to Grimskull. You eventually have to get through the water to get to it.
So we're roughly at this red X.
Yeah, that's right.
So it actually wouldn't take us much more time to just go to Goodmead and then to here.
Mm-hmm.
That is assuming that the Kislev or whatever has not already made their way there. If that is their, as you say, phylactery, they may have already made a move on that.
In which case, would we want to send a message ahead of time while we are on our way west, and then we can see, how things are going before we take the detour? It's going to take a while to get down this glacier and start making our way towards the sea. So
That sounds good to me. I do not remember. I think the name of our friend in Goodmead was Kendrick.
Zach.
Zach?
Zach Onstead, and then Fef was also one of the other folks.
Yes, Fifth was the one who led us to the bodies.
Yeah, that's right.
So we could try to contact one of those people and see if they know anything.
I suppose if we don't get in much more trouble today, I might be able to send 2 messages. But I'd want to wait until the end of the day if possible.
Ah, now I remember. Kendrick was the one that was murdered.
So do we want to start heading west?
I think it is the most logical move for us at this moment.
Either way, we're going that direction. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start heading that way.
So to recap, are you heading to Goodmead first?
I'm going to say that we are heading westward, and then at the end of the first day, since I'm sure that will leave us like in the middle of there or something, before we head over to Goodmead, we will see if anybody has come and tried to pick it up, and if not, we might take a trip over there.
Okay.
Unless anybody else has a better idea.
Oh, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Sounds good to me.
And as you all begin to head, I guess, towards the exit or toward the entrance to Yithrin, down the cliff, you hear the sound of wings and landing. Beside you, Laja, is Suzanne, who's been gone for quite a while. And Suzanne says, Mother, I've been trying to reach you for quite a while. The wind has been difficult, which normally doesn't affect me. My wings are very remarkable and strong.
Ah, Suzanne, I would probably prefer if you just called me Rogar, but there's something magical happening. Do not take it personally.
Mother, while I was trying to catch up with you, I noticed that group of humans that we were following before, they were in some sort of fight.
And when you say humans, do you mean the tribe that we encountered before?
On the ice, the ones with all of the tigers.
Ah, yes, the tiger tribe. And what did you see happen?
There was lots of screaming and lots of fires. I was going to land to see if I could perhaps find a bite to eat, but the smell was too disturbing, very distasteful.
That's fair. I would not want you to eat something that's disgusting. I do not wish to eat anything disgusting. Have you ever tried sushi? Some of it does not agree with my stomach.
I've never had this sushi, but I've had plenty of knucklehead trout.
I've never had knucklehead trout. Too difficult to capture. It is dangerous. You should be very careful with knucklehead trout.
If you like, I could try to catch you some. I could carry it in my mouth and fly it back to you.
That would be absolutely fantastic. But right now, I think we have to focus at the task at hand. How many of the tiger tribe did you see? We had tried to encourage most of them to flee to Goodmead, but it was possible that some of them would have been attacked by the other tribes.
I think Rogar might have the tribe of the elk confused.
I do.
With the tribe of
Looking
the tiger.
at my notes now, yes, I do.
But Suzanne says that there was probably 30 or 40 of them.
Did you notice how many of the elk tribe survived or escaped?
Sorry, Mother. They all look similar to me, but I don't think they were fighting other humans. They were fighting something else.
Oh. Was it some sort of floating skull?
I think I saw skulls, but nothing was floating.
Rogar will turn to everyone else and relay what he's heard from Suzanne, that there was something has encountered the tiger tribe, and it was not people, it was something else.
Do you think that was the thing that we encountered earlier?
The Bodak, the thing with the extended face. Suzanne, was that what it looked like with the extended face?
No, I think there were faces.
Suzanne is not sure. I'm not sure Suzanne was close enough to get a good look. I would not blame Suzanne for that. That is it is dangerous to fly that close, and Suzanne is precious, you know.
She also has a very low intelligence.
I wouldn't say that. Come on, man.
That back right now.
Suzanne
She's
is actually
precious and good.
Suzanne is actually very intelligent. What is Suzanne's intelligence, by the way? Is it lower than 8?
It is 6.
So Roger only has an 8, so it's not that far off.
Okay. Can you ask Suzanne how long ago that she saw this?
And Roger will pass it on.
Suzanne says this was just moments, minutes ago.
Whoa. Suzanne says it just happened just a few moments ago.
So then it is likely that when we leave, we might run into this. So we should be mindful and keep an eye out.
This is why you are smarter than I am, Lasha. Suzanne, come to us, but stay a bit ahead of us. Keep an eye out for us if you can.
And Suzanne says, I can take you to the camp. It would be very easy.
Do we want to go to this camp, friends?
I think we should probably head on our way, but it's up to you all.
What do you think, Varian?
I would guess that it's probably more important to get on the way if we need to stop at Goodmead first, especially.
Do I know if this camp is on the way to Goodmead? This camp is probably up on the glacier with us, right?
Yeah, you pass those two camps. You remember when you first joined the glacier to make your way here. And Suzanne tries to describe to you the quickest way to get around them. And she says, if you would just fly, and then she stops and she says, Mother, it would be so much easier if you could just fly.
I wish I could. But someday I will be able to. Some of us are just born without wings,
And she says, while you could make your way around the camp, it would add more time.
Suzanne thinks it will be quicker if we just go through this campsite. And maybe this will put us on the tracks of Kislar. Whatever.
In which case, let's get going. If we're going to end up there anyway, then there's no use, arguing over what we're going to do when we get there. Or at the very least, we can walk and talk.
Yes, we can walk and talk. Let's go.
You make your way down the cliff, much easier than you were going up. And then as you continue across the glacier, Suzanne flies over all of you to keep an eye on you. She eventually leads you past the tribe, past the encampment. On the map, you're closer than you actually have to be, but she was leading you past the encampment, and you can see that there really aren't any more lights. There's some low fires still burning, and what looks like bodies here and there. But Suzanne, as she like lands next to you and she's walking in front of you, Varian, she kind of sniffs the air and kind of growls a little bit. But she says mentally to you, Rogar, "See the smell? It's not right."
Can Rogar attempt to smell and see if Rogar can interpret what not right means?
It smells like dead bodies.
All right. Suzanne says it does not smell right, and I'm sure you all pick up the smell of this death in this camp.
Unfortunately.
Maybe not you, Guardian. I'm not sure what your senses are capable of at this point.
I don't breathe. So.
Well, then it smells like dead bodies in here, so be aware for that.
Noted.
Can Rogar use his divine sense one more time?
Yeah, when you reach out with your divine sense, Rogar, you do get a strong feeling of something not being right. Oh, I should have asked before you all left. Did you take the mace that she left you? Did anyone take that, or did you just leave it there?
Rogar left it.
Guy hates deities, so he left.
Yeah, I'd put in my bag, honestly.
What? All right.
I don't want to get fucking killed, guys.
That sounds like you're making a promise to a god thing. Not quite a god, but a god thing.
Who's a total jerk.
But Rogar will warn, friends. I get the sense of something not right here, or something maybe undead in this destroyed village.
Didn't we get evacuated? Oh no, this is I'm thinking of the elk people.
So
You fleshy things all look the same to me.
the Tiger Tribe, as a recap, were the ones that apparently had the chief that was supposedly another child of Oral. You know, Issa's, if you can remember Issa, the character that ELH played, that would have been her mother. The Tiger Tribe were the cannibals that were chasing the Elk Tribe and other tribes off of the glacier. This is apparently their encampment.
This is the Tiger Tribe encampment. Okay.
Yep.
Well, Rogar will move a little forward into the camp.
Elijah, with your passive perception, you pick up what sounds like a voice. It sounds like someone might be crying for help or just crying in general, coming from the center of the camp.
And do I see anything there?
You don't. You do see, it's hard to make out shapes because the snow has fallen down, but it looks like intermixed with all the tents and teepees, you see forms like furs and stuff. It looks like they might be bodies, but it's hard to tell. You know, with everyone wearing furs and big cloaks and stuff, it's hard to really get a read without getting too close.
Guys, be quiet. I think there might be somebody here. I'm gonna slowly approach the sound.
Garen will follow behind.
I'm gonna try to be quiet about it.
Well, if you're going to try to be quiet, if you can give me a stealth check, please.
Oh yeah, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, you're not good at this. You're right.
Just because I try does not mean I succeed.
So, Virian, you notice Elijah creeping through the snow, and you can tell they're trying to be stealthy, but it's not working at all. Like, every step is a loud crunch, crunch.
I'm just gonna try and like kick snow underneath of Laja's feet as she walks to see if that helps. Virian is also not very smart and doesn't know how to help people be stealthy. It's just he just assumes everyone should be stealthy. It's in their nature.
Just for kicks, why don't you also give me a stealth check? Okay.
God,
You're also bad at this.
I rolled a
You
nat
still did better
one.
than me.
I'd say with a natural 1, Virian, you managed to make more noise than Laja.
See, Laja, just do what I'm doing.
You're not being quiet enough.
Okay, as we are moving loudly, how does the sound get as we get closer to it?
You're getting closer. It's coming from the center of the encampment. And Wargar, as you're getting closer towards the center, which is like this way, you see it looks like a large pile of something.
Roughly where?
Somewhere around there.
I'll command Suzanne quietly. Suzanne, I would like you to quietly move towards the center of this camp. Stealthily.
You know, she's not too bad at that. Why doesn't somebody roll me for Suzanne? An 11, okay. What Suzanne does is she creeps slowly across the snow. She seems to be copying Laja and Virian, trying to mimic their movements, and it's not working out so well. As she walks through the camp, you know, her tail sweeps back and forth as she knocks over a tent here, or she kicks up, a burnt out campfire here and there.
And as Suzanne does that, Rorgar just openly, loudly, in common, just shouts, "Oh no, Suzanne! I meant for you to do that quietly, like Laja and Virian are doing it quietly."
Seeing that our chance at stealth was ruined by this large dragon and totally not by me or Virian, I'm gonna start moving normally towards the sound. And you know what I'm gonna say? Everything will be fine. Can you come out, please?
And Rorgar, you notice from your position that you're passing several bodies that appear to be on the ground. You can tell the bundles and furs and stuff were most likely, the coats that folks are wearing. But you see several humanoids have spears and stuff. They're also laying in small puddles of blood that have stained the snow red. You notice that here and there. It appears to be you haven't seen anyone alive yet.
Is my divine sense giving me the tingle that like any of those bodies are undead?
What you felt from your divine sense was really all around you.
I don't like that answer. Friends, there appears to be danger around us. Be careful. Unlike what you were doing before. And he says that with a very loud tone that like maybe echoes across the plains.
Right. Okay, I'll go in first. And yeah, Garden will go in.
Just for kicks, let's see how stealthy Guardian is.
Oh, he's not being stealthy at all. He's just looking at everyone like, what the hell is wrong with you all?
Okay. So where is Guardian going in relation to the map here?
To wherever that sound's coming from. Here's everyone. Yeah.
I'll put you right there.
Yep.
So Guardian, what you hear as you're approaching closer, you do hear, it sounds like sobbing. And as you walk through this circle of tents here, and I guess Rorgar is behind you.
I'd like to stay within 10 feet.
Okay. You see a mound on the snow here as you grow closer and closer. It looks like a pile of furs, and then as you get even closer, you can tell it looks like a pile of bodies. And they're stacked about 8 feet tall.
I'm going to poke around with the maul, gently tapping it, seeing where that sound's coming from.
As you start poking to the pile of bodies, they actually begin to shift. And what emerges from the pile of bodies is a huge form. And this thing, it's hard to really even tell where the top and the bottom is. It appears to be an amalgamation of many different bodies that have been constructed together.
Sorry to disturb you. You can go back to bed.
But as it pushes forward from the pile of bodies, you can see here and there an arm has been placed, here and there a leg. You see like a tail from some sort of tiger, perhaps. Eyes and a head that don't seem to follow. Eyes randomly on a shoulder. Also random teeth here and there that are sharp. Fingers in unusual places. As this thing rises up, you hear popping and creaking as it sounds as bones are connecting together in various places. Its skin has like a shiny pinkish purple, and it turns towards you and begins to advance on you, also at the same time. The forms around the camp all begin to climb up. The piles of bodies that were, the dead around the camp all together stand up and look towards all of you. And that sounds like a great cliffhanger to end us on, as you're surrounded by the dead of the tiger tribe.
Ah, Guardian! It appears that you've sprung the trap. How fun!
I have seemed to have activated someone's trap card. How foolish of me.
Now we get to kill it!